Good morning. Welcome to the investment meeting of the Teachers Retirement Board for October 10th, 2024. I'll start by calling the roll. Kevin Liu,
Kevin Liu, representing Mayor Adams.
Thomas Brown,
Good morning, Patricia, present.
Gregory Faulkner, Allison Hirsch,
Present on behalf of Controller Brad Lander.
Victoria Lee,
Present.
Christina McGrath.
Good morning, Present.
Good morning. We have a quorum, and I'll turn it over to the chair.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay. First agenda item will be the Passport Fund's August 2024 performance review. And I guess that's Rokotam.
Okay. 1 second here.
Just getting our screen share set up. Thank you, Michael. Amanda.
So August for the passport funds, we actually had the diversified equity fund ended the month at 19.2 billion in assets, which, you know, putting that number into context, if we look back at where we were at the start of the year, we had 17.5 billion in that fund. So we've seen tremendous growth so far in 2024, and a lot of that has to do with some of the strong market results we've seen. If you look even just for the diversified equity fund across this page and the year-to-date column in particular, up almost 16% year-to-date through the end of August. So despite some of the volatility we saw, certainly in early August, we ended the month in positive territory across all of the variable funds. All ended around 2% across the different US and non-US and even the balanced fund, which is, you know, 70% in short-term fixed income, was right in that range, around 1.4% for the month of August. And really in August, we did see, to start the month, a bit of volatility as we saw some weaker jobs market data that caused a little bit of an equity sell-off. It was short-lived. We did bounce back, especially with, you know, market expectation and markets pricing in what would end up being a 50 basis point Fed cut that did ultimately occur in September, which has been positive. So overall, you know, landed in positive territory across your funds for the month of August, and really pretty consistent results, around 2% for across US equities, international equities, and the balanced fund. I'll leave it there for August unless there's questions.
Questions for Amanda? Great. How about September?
Okay.
Should be as good.
I'll make a quick overarching comment. So the good news is you see very strong numbers here from an absolute return perspective. That's a consistent comment across the US, it's consistent across the non-US markets. And as you know, the passport funds are very heavily invested in public equities. So that's the great news. We have not yet started seeing preliminary performance from your active managers. But I will say, from everything we've heard in the conversations we've had with managers broadly, and where we've seen the markets, for example, over the last quarter, do quite well. The last quarter alone, the markets are up almost 7% in the US, over 8% abroad. It's been a very challenging environment for active managers to add incremental value over the benchmarks that we use. And one of the key drivers behind that have been the challenges we've seen with lower quality stocks outperforming the broad market. You can call it a junk rally if you want. Some of those stocks are companies that are more highly levered, which have started to do well in an environment where the Fed is talking about cutting interest rates. So I just wanted to highlight that we haven't yet received active manager numbers. It's been a good market, but it's been a tough market for active managers to outperform public benchmarks. And we'll dive into that more over the next couple of months, but wanted to flag it. You want to add anything else?
Yeah, the only other thing I would say is, again, for the month of September, pretty similar absolute returns to the month of August in the range of, 1 to 2% across asset classes here. Certainly the big news in the month of September was the 50 basis point Fed rate cut, which was long awaited, the first rate cut since March of 2020. And really the one kind of standout in terms of results for the month of September was emerging markets, which really was driven by some gains in China late in the month after China also made the decision to ease their monetary policy. So emerging markets, you can see there about halfway down the page, returned about 6.7% for the month of September and was one of the strongest performing areas of the market.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Amanda. Any questions? Great. We move on to the next agenda item, BAM fiscal year 2025 work plan.
Oh, sorry, this is me. Yes, this is why Kate was telling me, are you doing the intro of the work plan? I was being distracted. Yes, as folks know, at BAM, we talked about this at BAM University, and as part of the initial STAR project, one of the outcomes that came out of STAR project is that there's often not clarity between trustees and Bureau of Asset Management staff as to what the Bureau of Asset Management staff is doing every day on behalf of the trustees in a way that ensures what the staff is working on and prioritizing mirrors the priorities of trustees. And so one of the proposals that we had coming out of that STAR project was to actually create an annual work plan that the Bureau of Asset Management puts forwards to trustees for feedback, edits, et cetera, that each board votes on. That is probably 98% of it is probably the same across all 5 systems, but it allows for individualized priorities per system. So there might be something unique to teachers that really want folks on the team to prioritize. And the idea is that it creates an opportunity for open discussion to make sure trustees actually know what the BAM team is doing, et cetera. So Steve will get into it a little bit more, but what we wanted to do, the hope is that every year, ideally in July, as part of the fiscal year, as we shift fiscal year, obviously we're a little late this year, so it's the first time. This is something that is developed collaboratively and voted on by the board to set the agenda for the coming year.
Yep. Yeah, and just to echo what Allison said, this is all about transparency and accountability, to be transparent with the individual boards and the unique needs of the boards in terms of the things that we're working on, and for you to hold us accountable for those actions over the course of the year. So no, Kate, are there slides that we're sharing? I know there were a document we sent out.
Hi, Steve. So we don't have slides for this. We just wanted to draw attention to the fact that the work plan is convened for now and make trustees aware that they have it to review and we can discuss it at further meetings.
Yeah, and I don't think we expect there to be any kind of vote today, since we have not had time to discuss it, but we wanted to put it in there and bring it up. So hopefully that we can discuss it. If there are questions between this meeting and next, or there are things that trustees do want to discuss, we can hopefully resolve them and have a conversation at the next month's meeting to vote on it and move it forward.
Yeah. I think that one of the other takeaways is in addition to maintaining, the aggregate amount of 285 billion in assets, there's a number of strategic initiatives that we're pursuing to hopefully improve our efficiency and deliver better performance over time. So it's a comprehensive list of things broken out by different categories that we're focused on. But we're happy to talk about any of those things in more detail at an appropriate time.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Allison. Any questions for Steve or Allison? Thank you. I think that concludes our business public agenda. So do I hear a motion to go into executive session? Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor of going into executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The abstentions? So we are in executive session. And we are back in public session. Welcome back, and I think we'll be having a readout from our own Priscilla Bailey. Thank you.
Thank you. In the executive session of the Passport Fund, there was no manager update. During the executive session of the Pension Fund, there was an update on preliminary performance. There was a manager update, consensus was reached. The board received an update and presentation on a manager operational issue. The board received recommendations and heard presentations related to a previously issued solicitation. No action was taken. There were 2 private equity presentations. Consensus was reached on all 2. There was a real estate presentation. Consensus was reached. There was an alternative credit presentation. Consensus was reached. Details to be made available at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. And I think we're at the end of our public session. But before we ask for a motion to adjourn, I'd like to publicly thank Will, our recorder, again, for the fabulous job. Thank you. And to Ricardo, our TRSNYC person, who is there. Every time I feel like to thank, if she's listening, Liz Sanchez, who puts this all together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank everybody. This is, it's nice being here with a good group of people. Thank you, everybody. So with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
There are 2 seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. And abstentions, let the record show that we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
I said 3 questions.